are starting with hook leg pincha. What is that? Let me show you. Hook leg pincha. Is this. I call this hook leg pincha because the legs look like hooks. But before getting into this tutorial, first I want to talk a little, just a little. Of course, the goal of this workshop to teach you, to help you throughout your pincha journey and with your pincha position. Yes, but at the same time, I truly appreciate the whole experience, and for me, it is really important to express this, to emphasize this, you know? So of course we want to hold the positions, we want to get into these inversions, all those transitions. I love this kind of stuff. If you saw my Instagram, I'm all in to this stuff. So don't get me wrong. But when we focus on mostly the end result, we tend to miss out the opportunity to actually learn the things that we can learn and to explore the things that we can explore throughout that process of learning something new. That's why I want you to really listen to me and truly watch me. I want you to be present with me throughout the whole workshop. Instead of trying again the same things that you have been trying, try to catch the things that I say. Try to notice the little details, the key points, you know, all those little things that I will be mentioning throughout this workshop in this video as well, okay? Because sometimes I see my students, my practitioners doing the same things after listening to me, and I was doing the same, so that's why I am taking this time and saying all these. Just like let everything aside, put them aside, and throughout this workshop, try things in a different way, okay? At least be open to try. So if I'm saying don't throw your legs up, and if you were doing that, you can keep doing that, of course. But throughout this workshop, try not to do it. Try not to do it, and try to do all those things that I am showing here. I am not saying that these are going to be easier, but I truly believe that these things are going to provide more information about the process, about the experience, and I truly believe that the whole information is going to improve your awareness on your practice. This doesn't have to be only pincha, right? What we learn here, we can implement in other phases, in other parts of our journey, of our yoga asana practice. So that's what I am genuinely asking for you, okay? Asking you for. Okay, you got me, right? Anyways, so in this video, I am going to show you how to get into a hook leg pincha step by step. I'm going to share some key points, some tips and tricks, and also I'm going to show how you can use a yoga block, or maybe, like me, a bunch of books or anything you can find to create some elevation, okay? So the goal is to create some elevation under our foot. Deal? Are we ready? Let's start. So, first of all, I am going to start by placing my pincha arms on the mat. So this changes for everyone. This can change, right? My pincha arms are like this. However they look like for you, that is okay. Do what works for you, okay? Nice. So I am placing, please do not do it right now and just watch me, and then you can try it later. You can replay the video and all those stuff. That you are the boss here. You have the control over the play and pose button. So I am placing my arms. Nice. And then I'm getting into my forearm down dog, dolphin position. I am keeping my knees bent here. So I'm feeling my lower abdominals. I am really pressing through my forearms, gripping through my fingertips here. When things are easier, I make sure that I am activating all these little but really necessary things right now. And then I am pulling one knee towards my chest. My gaze is in the middle of my forearms, and as I move my hip bones a little bit forward while pulling my knee towards the chest, my gaze follows. So my gaze also goes a little bit forward here. After pulling my knee towards my chest, I am placing my toes on the mat. Nice. I am pulling my knee as much as I can while curving my spine. I curve my spine because I want to create space for knee to come, right? Nice. And placing the toes. And from here, now I am mostly focused on the other leg. Sending it up, keeping the knee bent. And instead of jumping with the right foot, which is on the mat right now, I am focusing more on sending my left knee forward, 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 and then from here you can tap a little, but as you send forward, the other knee comes more towards the chest and your legs float. And I'm in the hook. I am pressing my forearms, so I'm elevating my upper body. I'm trying to hug my ribs in, grabbing through the toes, fingertips. And from here, I can peacefully, gracefully let go of the position. Why we are starting with the hook leg pincha, but not another variation? Because the hook leg pincha is actually more equally distributed. The weight is more equally distributed into space, right? Imagine the straight leg pincha is actually really challenging pose to get in, to hold. So if you are at the beginning of your pincha practice, please, please, please don't be stubborn. Start with this, because so the straight leg pincha, let's think about here. So this is my legs, right? And my upper body, my body, and here my forearms, okay? And there is the head. This one is not really light. And while I'm trying to hold my body like this, there's the weight of the head here in the straight leg pincha, right? This is tough. This is tough. This is also why you end up being in the banana back, because you cannot actually know how to handle with the weight of your head, and that weight is pulling you forward, and you end up bending from your lower back most of the time, which is not really cool, and then maybe you're losing your balance and you are falling down, or you really get scared, like, and then you're just doing weird stuff and then you fall down, right? So it's really challenging. But when you have the legs, one is forward, one is backward, right? The weight is more equally, not equally, but more like distributed into space. At the same time, you are pulling one knee towards the chest, right? Which keeps your abdominals active. So you are working instead of like flaring your ribs out. You're not using your core, your abdominals. While you pull the knee towards the chest, you prevent yourself to let go. That's why I am a big pusher to, at first, keep one leg, one knee close to the chest in pincha, in headstand, in handstand. I truly believe that this is where we should start because it's easier, and when something is a little bit easier, first you are going to learn it faster, right? Then you can actually hold the position, and when you hold the position, you can actually start developing that awareness within your body and see what you are doing and what happens when you really press your forearms, what really happens when you pull your knee or try to extend your legs. If you are struggling, you cannot be aware of these things, right? We should have a little bit of comfort to realize this stuff. I hope these made sense. Okay. So let me show the same thing with the other leg so we can watch it again and see after all this talk what I mean by saying pulling the knee. So try to really watch it and try to really understand and try to make sense of all the things that I said while watching this. Okay, again, placing my arms, getting into the dolphin, forearm down dog, and this time let's do the other leg. So, first of all, while I am here, bending my knees, the gaze is forward, pressing the forearms, pressing the knuckles, gripping through the fingertips. So, this is an active position. If you do all these things, you should feel. And from here, I am pulling one knee towards my chest. I'm curving my spine so I can have space for my knee to come forward. And then placing my toes on the mat. Now, my attention is on the other leg. I am focusing not on the foot actually, but the knee. I am trying to send it forward. My gaze follows, so it goes a little bit forward as well. And while I go, it floats. And right now I'm really pressing, try to hug my ribs in, keeping the knee close to my chest. I'm not trying to find a straight leg here. Just stay here for a while. Understand what's going on. How do you feel? And where do you feel things? And then slowly getting out of the position. How is it? Okay, I have things to say, of course, as always. Also, with this kind of pincha variation, it's you made the whole process less scary, because it's really harder to fall forward from this kind of pincha variation. You have the legs on both sides. You can control the position and the momentum, right? When you try to go straight leg, you end up doing that circular movement, kind of scorpion, and then of course it's so scary because like you're going to fall down. But with this one, it's less scary. And if you don't panic actually, and if you don't throw yourself up and legs, if you don't throw your legs up, it's really hard to fall forward from this pincha variation. But I want to really emphasize this. While you are getting into pincha, there is that like milliseconds, there are those milliseconds where your face is getting closer to the mat a little bit more, okay? That's normal. And after that point, you're just like, legs are starting to float and you're pressing your forearms and then you're elevating and finding your balance. So that's normal, okay? Don't panic. Do not panic. Do not be afraid. That is normal. Because it's physics, right? You're going a little bit like this and okay? Don't feel like I'm going to fall down. No, that's normal. I also experienced that. My nose is a little bit getting close and like, whoo, and then, whoo. Cool. Play. These things, if you are throwing yourself, you cannot realize these things. If you be patient, if you focus on this whole experience instead of the end goal, this is going to be way more fun. Because you don't need the end satisfaction, right? You get little moments of satisfaction, that little moments of success throughout the journey, even though you don't hold the position, because like, wow, like I realized this. Wow, that's happening. Wow, this happens when I pull my knee towards the chest. Like you are exploring your body. You're like, wow. So those moments actually not in the end point, because at the end you're like, wow, yeah, that is like, I've done it. But throughout the process, there are those wow moments. So if you focus on those wow moments, it's just so good. It's just so good, really. I think this is my biggest secret behind the whole progress that I've showed throughout my yoga journey, because I kind of managed to find all those wow moments which kept me turning back onto my mat, and still they do. So that's why I'm really emphasizing this. And if you turn back to your mat consistently, there is no way you cannot progress. Anyways, let me show you how to use elevation to make this easier. And this really helps. This really makes a difference, I can guarantee. So feel free to experiment. So I'm setting this here. I don't know, let's see if here is okay. We'll figure that out. Maybe a little bit back. So my foot is going to be on this. I'm kind of obsessive. So I started with my right leg first, right? So now I should start with my right leg again. My mind is like control freak. Nice. So it's the same process. Since I love myself and you love yourself, I am making things easier for me instead of feeling bad or like, why can't you do this? Saying these kind of things. make things easier. Getting into the beginning position. I'm not going to repeat all those activations because you already know. I know that you already know. It's great. Okay, I am pulling my right knee and this time placing on the elevation that I created. Hopefully they don't slide. And then focusing on the other leg. It's much easier. And focusing on the knee, 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 and there I go. Since your foot is higher, from the beginning, it's easier to float. Nice. And with the other leg, let's do this. Nice. Two sides are always different, by the way. Always, almost always, you feel more comfortable with one leg. Nice. If you are using books, make sure that they don't slide. It's a little bit tricky. Pulling the knee, placing the foot on the elevation. The gaze is forward all the time. I am not shifting my gaze, okay? Lock your gaze somewhere in between your forearms. Do not look backward. If you look backward, it's more likely that you fall forward. Why? You're looking backward. The gaze is super important when it comes to balancing. You can try this, experiment this within any position, even in the tree pose, right? When you close your eyes, when you eliminate the gaze factor, it changes, or when you try to shift your gaze. So if you are shifting your gaze in a position like this, wow, it's tricky, right? It's another thing that you work on after holding the position. So lock your gaze, make sure that you are not shifting your gaze. Nice. One more thing that I want to add, it's tricky to use books, right? Because they can slide, it's not a big problem. But it's also nice because, for example, you can play with this elevation if you're building the elevation with multiple things, because you can start from here maybe to make things even more easier. And then you can decrease and then decrease, right? With the books, you start with 4 books. After a while, 3 books. After a while, 2. After a while, 1. After a while, bubble mat. Be creative. Allow yourself to play. Allow yourself to experiment. It's your practice. We are here just to guide you, just to help you. The rest is all on yours. Do, like, I don't know, just play. Yeah, I think this is just what I'm going to say all the time. Play, 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 play. But yeah, please play.